What is crack-a-lackin', my diesel brethren? Coming at you with part 2 of the tow rig teardown. I didn't film me tearing the motor apart, but I don't think you wanted to see it. It was pretty ugly. It was like one of those scary movies where you want to look away, but you can't. Yeah, that's what this is. So I got it here on the stand. I got the pan off, got the rods, pistons out, and I took a bunch of pictures while I was tearing it apart, so I will interject those pictures here in the video somewhere. But I'm gonna take you over here to the motor, show you the crank, and we could probably go outside in the box, dig a couple rods out. I have them in the bed of the truck because, as you will see, they are no good no more. They're some coffee table stands, or I made a lamp one time with the rod, but that's about all they're good for anymore. So let me flip you around and we will take a look at this bad Larry. Alright, so got her here on the stand. You've seen the last video, we got the heads off. I'm pretty sure you can see from here how bad the crank is. See that one? Pretty polished, smooth still. This one's got the Colorado Rockies right in the middle of that sunbuck. That one is much better. Let's get her rotated over and have a better look. Yes, I am that guy. I have spent many years huffing one of these over at the pry bar. I think I earned this one. Oh, that was nice. Whew. Out of breath. Wrist was getting tired. But let's have a look, see at this old crank. So as you can see, that light ain't helping very much. Let's get rid of it. This one's not too, that one would polish out. This one, dadgummit, get rid of that light. That one's got a little bearing material in it, a little bit of transfer. Let's wipe that bad boy off. This one would probably polish out, depending on that. But you get to this. There we go. Got her to spin over. Look at that. Gross. Not good, boys. This crank is pooched. Pooched. MC hammered. So what ended up happening, I pulled it apart, pulled the pan, got to looking, and look at that beautiful pickup tube. And it's been sitting upside down. Oh, yep, that's bearing material. You couldn't see this mesh. There was so much bearing material on here, and I was like, oh, here we go. So I was grabbing rods while they're bolted up and going ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. After it was all said and done, 6 out of 8 rod bearings were plumb spun out. And like I said, I took pictures, so I'll interject those in the video here. But this thing is pooched. The crank still feels good, so I don't think it spun main bearings. It's still tight, which I don't know if it's too tight, but it's still got cam and lifters in it. But we won't know. I gotta get the puller from the house to pull the crank reluctor wheel so I can get the timing chain off, rip all this bad mamma jamma out so I can know for sure if this block is good or not. If not, no big deal. I have that $5.99 block right here. I have another one at the house. Got one at Mom's house. Got a couple 929 blocks, a 141 block. I'm no shortage on blocks. But if you're in the western Colorado area, let me know. I'm always buying them. Always need spares. But it definitely turned from a head gasket injector job into a whole kit and caboodle. God, just look how bad that is. It's rough, boys. It definitely has turned into a full engine build, top to bottom. Like I said, I initially pulled it apart having a bad injector, and I wanted to throw head gaskets at it, check it. See no evil, hear no evil. Pulled the pan. Glad I did, because like I said, the oil pickup tube was plumb full of bearing material. All 6 out of 8 spun rod bearings, and 4 of them chewed up the rods. They spun so bad. So that's why I'm saying it needs rods, it needs a crank, which I have a crank, I have rods. My plan is to basically build a duplicate short block of the race truck, build it for this, and depending on duplicate will be if this 506 block is good, we will run it and order main studs for this 506 block, and if not, does not upset me at all. This thing will go in the scrap pile. I'll throw a 599 block together just like the race truck. Main studs, balanced bottom end, get a nice good solid bottom end with fluid dampener. Shout out to those guys, great to deal with. But balanced bottom end, fluid dampener, and slap a bottom end together. And as you've seen in the first part of this video, it had cracked heads. I will be using the OG heads off the race truck engine. Those are still perfect condition. I will be slapping those on this dually engine. So I already got heads, debating on whether I'm going to do the big valve upgrade like I did on the race truck, or just leave it, clean up the ports a little bit, do some work on the ports, which will help a lot being a tow rig. But either way, those heads are going on whatever block I decide to build and use. It'll get the same valve springs as the race truck, slapped together. It'll basically be the race truck engine, just a lot more tame on the fuel and air setup. Like I said, this is a tow rig, but the goal with the truck, now that I have to do a full engine build, I want a 450 to 500 horsepower tow rig 6.5. I think it's possible. It's going to depend a lot on turbo setup and fueling setup. It's definitely going to be intercooled, water methanol. I am going to switch it to mechanical injection because mechanical mafia, but it'll have a pump, marine injectors, the built motor, and turbo system is to be revealed at a later date. I have a couple different scenarios I'm looking for. A lot of you guys, when I was talking about it, said I need to do a unique turbo setup on the dually because I have the very unique center mount hand-built turbo setup on the race truck. So I have a couple things I'm mulling around, deciding what I want to do as far as turbo setup, but it's going to be sick. You guys are going to want to see either way whichever it is. But turbo pump, injectors, built motor, the dually is going to be ready to rip. But right now it is very much not. But once I get that crank collector wheel pulled off, get that crank out of there, huck it in the scrap pile. There we go. Get out of that light. Now you can see how sweaty I am. Ugh. But get that crank thrown in the trash. Make room for the good crank I have at the house, the rods, get it all sent off to the machine shop, have them work their magic. Whatever block I end up using, gonna slap the dial bore gauge in there, see if it'll hone out stock bore, if I'm gonna have to bore it 10, 20. Hell, the race truck's 40 over. Believe that. Everyone says, no, 6.5s are junk. I have a 40 over 6.5, tearing it up. So that, I'm not too worried. That'll just determine which size piston I have to order. I am actually going to try total seal rings on this build. I've had a couple people ask about that. I've never personally used them, but I figured what better one to try than the tow rig, have a nice good total seal ring in it. I know a lot of high horsepower guys have had good luck. Granted, this one will be a higher horsepower build for a 6.5, especially a tow rig, but it's really not that much horsepower in the long scheme of things. But we're going to try the total seal rings and a little bit of my bottom end magic, and it's going to be a certified ripper. I tell you, it's going to be awesome. Once we get the motor in, slap a converter in it, freshen up the trans with the shift kit, traction bars, water meth, the FAS that came off the race truck with the sump, power driven diesel sump, of course. Check those out. Badass sumps for a great deal. Built-in feed and returns, all O-ring boss, none of that leaking pipe thread crap. But and it's red to match the truck, so we're gonna run it. But it's reverse leveled. It's gonna be awesome. I've been wanting one since, hell, 12 years ago. I wanted a 6.5 dually, and I just happened to get a 4-wheel drive crew cab dually. So this one is gonna be nasty. Not really nasty, the race truck's nasty. This one's gonna be fun to drive, dependable, just awesome. And I need to hurry up and get it done because old Ric Flair, the Duramax, decided to bite me in the boo-boo, and it's got head gasket issues, I assume. The EGR fell off a long time ago, so it's getting a little bit of black in the coolant reservoir, low coolant light every once in a while, and it doesn't leave puddles anywhere. So it's gonna be time to, once I get the dually back together, gonna pull the engine on the Duramax, and we're gonna stud it, valve springs, ported heads, S400 probably. I just can't help myself. And I've also recently acquired a TIG welder, so what better way to build my own S400 kit than with my own TIG welder. So look for more dually videos, and get ready for some Duramax videos for all you guys that like to live in the 21st century, unlike me. But no, I love the Duramax. It's got 369,000 original miles on it, and the untouched engine runs low 13s, high 12s, beat the snot out of it, drag racing people, towing the race truck behind it, just not giving a damn. And it's finally earned some well-needed love, we could say. So we need to hurry up, get the dually done, so I can focus my attention on pulling the Duramax engine, get it on the stand here, and give her a reseal and head stud, gasket, ported head, valve spring, push rod, just a nice mild engine build, and get her ready for a S467 and some spicy air, a couple Cosby cocktails, if you know what I'm saying. But like I said, I don't know where in the video I will have entered the pictures. I gotta work that out with the editing. I think I can layer it somehow. We'll figure that out. But if not, they'll be right here at the very end of all the spun rod bearings and rods and junk and more junk, and picture of the pickup tube plumb covered in bearing material. But soon part 3 will be the next block. We'll be doing some measurements, get it off to the machine shop, get the bottom end sent off to do my little spicy stuff. And that will, I don't know if that'll be the next video, or if that's just going to be the next installment of the tow rig. But either way, guys, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for whatever's coming next. Hopefully it's race truck content. Got a couple seals coming to resealed 4-wheel drive adapter housing from Leroy Diesel. And once that shows up, resealed 4-wheel drive adapter housing, and the motor is going back in, guys. It is going back in the truck. I've been waiting for that for months, and it's finally ready to go back in, and we can start doing Predator Fab like we talked about in the last episode. But I don't want to get too far off in a tangent on race truck stuff when we're trying to talk about tow rig stuff. But stay tuned for the next episode, guys. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Loved comments. Ring the bell so you can see the... I am gonna bet the next video is the engine going back in the race truck. So you guys are definitely not gonna want to miss that. So hit the bell, share with all your friends, like and comment. And of course, we'll see you guys on the next one.